As I was leaving for New York, and Michelle came to give me a ride to the airport. She had her dad's old car. And my mom had just found a roadkill owl on her way back up from the library where she was working. I guess it was, I don't remember where she was working at the time, but somewhere downtown. And so as I'm leaving, she's got the owl laid out on the hood of her truck, and she's skinning it. No big deal, I'm just skinning this owl. All right, I'll see you. And we waved at each other like, yeah, but I didn't hug anybody in my family when I went to New York. I just left, I didn't come back for 3 years. And everyone was like, okay, see ya, have fun. It's like, you guys are just so hard-ass, it's unbelievable. You know, like I've never met a more hard-ass bunch of weirdos. I mean, we're much more touchy now. We give each other hugs and tell each other that we love each other and all this stuff, but not back then, man. It was tough love all the way out. It was like being raised by a mother wolf. We're in the oldest firehouse in Brooklyn right now, which I moved into 3 years ago. And when I got here, it was pretty much completely destroyed, and I put about $150,000 in untold amounts of my own effort into turning it into this beautiful shop. And the first year was great. I made lots of money and everything was cool. And then I did this big art project, and that turned out to be really poorly timed. And I've been falling farther and farther behind every year or every month since then. So now I'm giving up and I'm moving out. I'm going back to Chesaw. Really is a place where you can go and be creatively free. And the price you pay is that there's not a lot of people around to interact with. Whereas in New York, I've been, it's like I had to go to New York to go get connected, meet people, realize what I could do, realize what my potential was, realize what, sort of what the game is, man, like in the big scene, because you can't find that in Chesaw. If you just stay in Chesaw your whole life, you'll be like, there's only 20 people in the universe. And they're all weird, you know? There's this little town, maybe 20 people in it, and it's like 8 buildings, one of which is a store and one of which is a bar, and the big rodeo grounds. When I was growing up, it was very divided on economic and just cliques. It's the same as like anywhere. There was the cowboys, there were the hippies, and then there were the townies. Down in town, they follow all the rules and they think conventional thoughts, and up on the hill, it's anything goes. My parents, they just didn't want to deal with reality as far as I could tell. And they just moved as far away as they could from anything that had anything to do with dealing with a man. When we were kids, there were 4 of us. We were born real close together. And we just moved from a basically abandoned farmhouse to abandoned farmhouse, or abandoned. We lived in the county shed for a while, which is this old abandoned shed. They were always like, no running water, no electricity. The only car we ever had was like a 1931 Diamond T truck or something, you know, or some old Chevy that would run half the time. But they were always playing music. My dad was making guitars. My mom always had gardens. There was always horses and chickens and dogs and cats. And just, I mean, I didn't even realize that I was disadvantaged financially until I got basically to like junior high or something, when it suddenly started to matter what kind of pants you wore. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to go back there. I have all these ideas about like these new like mobile container living, like these containers that you can like open a hatch and crank a lever and like they unfold and become these awesome little housing units. What I'm really curious about moving out to Chesaw is who my peers will be. And I've been Facebooking all of my high school classmates, and I go read their profiles. I mean, I love them all dearly, but my God, you can't list Jesus as one of your best friends, you know? Like, that's just freaky. You know? That doesn't fit with the way I see the world. So I know I'm gonna go out there and just raise hell. There's a lot of things, there's a lot of unknowns in my life. I don't know if my relationship with Michelle is gonna work out. I don't know what the plan is for that. Right now, I'm just kind of going out there and setting up. I feel like I have finally developed enough character by being in New York, and especially going through what I've gone through the last 3 years, to actually return home and be, if not on equal footing, at least on the playing field with all those other people that are in Chesaw, because they're also amazing. They're also amazing, and I'm like 30 years behind, because when I was a kid, they were doing what I'm doing and moving back out there and like being like, the hell with this, man. I don't want to have a real job. I don't want to live in a weird box next to a bunch of other people in boxes. You know, I want to be out there where I'm free to get up in the morning and do what the fuck I want to do.